Good evening, you're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Farhana Sheikh. Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim launches the National Artificial Intelligence Office today with the aim to position Malaysia as a regional AI hub. The office will serve as a centralized agency for AI, providing strategic planning and implementation, research as well as regulatory oversight. The National AI Office will focus on initiatives like developing an AI Code of Ethics and a 5-year AI Technology Action Plan, among others. Anwar also announced Malaysia's 6 strategic partners in the field, namely Toshiba, Global AI Village, YTL, Microsoft, Google and Amazon Web Services, with millions of investments in building data center, cloud and AI projects in Malaysia already underway. With the National AI Office, Anwar said there will be more streamlined efforts to enhance Malaysia's digital ecosystem as it strives to be a high-income nation. He highlights how the digital economy could contribute 23% to Malaysia's GDP next year and 120 billion ringgit by 2030. He also called for a paradigm shift in Malaysia's digital transition, stressing the importance of addressing digital literacy challenges across all sectors of society. Malaysians should leverage the potential of new technologies like AI rather than being apprehensive about adopting them. Drawing parallels with the Industrial Revolution, Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim highlights how societies have historically learned to adapt to change over time while still staying true to their core values.
Yang saya tidak sangat bimbang sebab kalau kita fikir bila ada Industrial Revolution peringkat awal, semua orang bimbang, akhirnya orang terima. Kemudian penggunaan IT, orang bimbang, tapi kita boleh mampu. The ingenuity, mana keupayaan pemikiran untuk menyelesaikan masalah ini. Tetapi latihan itu sangat perlu dan mendesak. Sebab itu kita harus latih keupayaan anak-anak tempatan untuk memberikan perisian supaya yang dimuntahkan, dilontarkan oleh AI itu adalah yang dimasukkan oleh kita. Bukan hanya dimasukkan oleh pandangan barat atau timur atau sistem lain. Dimasukkan semuanya dari dunia, tetapi ada yang khusus dari kita.
The decision to withdraw Malaysia's application to review the International Court of Justice's ruling on Batu Putih case was made unilaterally by Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad without the Cabinet's consultation. 3 former ministers from his administration, namely Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail, Datuk Seri Muhammad Sabu and Anthony Loh, asserted that Dr. Mahathir made the decision before the first Cabinet meeting was held in May.
In a joint statement, the trio clarified that Dr. Mahathir made the decision on May 21, 2018, in writing to the Attorney General without consulting the Cabinet. The Singaporean side was informed on May 23, 2018. They explained that Dr. Mahathir only informed the Cabinet 2 days later, and it was treated as information under other business. Hence, they argued the decision was finalized in writing by Dr. Mahathir, leaving no room for objection or support. The statement was issued in response to Dr. Mahathir's statements claiming that the decision was made at a cabinet meeting. The Royal Commission of Inquiry (RCI) on Batu Putih, Middle Rocks and South Ledge, in its report on December 5th, recommended a criminal investigation against Dr. Mahathir over the 2018 decision to drop claims on the disputed islands.
In a statement responding to the trio, Dr. Mahathir said that if cabinet members choose to remain silent or fail to express disagreement, it is assumed that they agree with the information or presentation provided. He reiterated that he is being made a scapegoat on the issue. He added that it was not a question of whether he had accepted responsibility for the issue, as he was the head of government at that time, but is whether members of his administration then were willing to be accountable as part of a collective responsibility when serving in the cabinet.
In other news, the total cost for repairing roads damaged by the first wave of floods triggered by the northeast monsoon nationwide has been estimated at 312.1 million ringgit as of yesterday. However, Works Minister Datuk Seri Alexander Nathalinggi says the cost has yet to be finalised and that the ministry will continue to assess the extent of the damage and overall repair costs.
He added that the figure includes 247 million ringgit for federal road maintenance, 40.3 million ringgit for federal road slope repairs, and 24.8 million ringgit for state roads. 9 states were affected by the floods, with more than 143,000 people displaced. Heavy rain and floods are an annual occurrence in the east coast states of Peninsular Malaysia and southern Thailand from November to January.
The Employees Provident Fund, or EPF, has just launched the Belanjawanku Guide along with a new retirement income adequacy framework. These initiatives are aimed at helping Malaysians better manage their monthly living cost and plan more effectively for retirement.
EPF stated that the updated Belanjawanku Guide estimates the minimum expenses for a decent lifestyle and now includes 12 major cities across Malaysia. It will be updated annually to reflect current living costs. The new Retirement Income Adequacy Framework, launching in January 2026, introduces a 3-tier savings system: basic, adequate, and enhanced savings. This system helps EPF members set retirement savings goals based on their desired lifestyle. For example, a single person needs around 2,690 ringgit per month for basic living expenses. The new savings targets are 390,000 ringgit for basic, 650,000 ringgit for adequate, and 1.3 million ringgit for enhanced savings. EPF CEO Ahmad Zulkarnain emphasized that these initiatives are crucial for helping Malaysians build a secure future. The Belanjawanku Guide is available for free on the EPF website and app stores.
The Malaysian Media Council Bill has been tabled for the first reading in the Dewan Rakyat today. The Deputy Communications Minister, Teo Ni Cheng, outlines the functions of the Council, its powers, governance structures and grievances mechanism, among others. Under the proposed bill, the Council is tasked to oversee the establishment of ethical and responsible standards of journalism through a well-defined code of conduct. Additionally, the Council will also help in fostering communication between media stakeholders, recommend legal reforms to enhance media independence, facilitate training programs, and maintain a database of media practitioners. In terms of powers granted, the Council will also be able to conduct an inquiry on any complaint received against media practitioners through a grievance mechanism. As for board appointments, the bill stipulates that the Council's chairman must not hold any political office, be affiliated with a political party, or serve in public service roles. The second reading of the bill will be tabled in the next session scheduled in the first quarter of next year. We'll go for a quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Rambut gugur lagi? Macam mana Gunakan Pantene Baharu dengan provitamin mikro yang meresap dan menguatkan rambut dari dalam. Rambut 10 kali lebih kuat terhadap rambut gugur. Pantene Baharu. Shopee 12.12. Dijamin harga rendah di Shopee. 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 12 juta ringgit voucher Shopee Live. Shopee. Beli sekarang.
You keep scratching the surface for dandruff? But the problem lies deeper. Use Head & Shoulders. It goes 5 layers deep to defeat dandruff and itch. Be up to 100% dandruff-free. Head & Shoulders. Dermatologically tested.
Welcome back. The United Nations General Assembly has adopted a resolution calling for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire in Gaza with overwhelming support. The non-binding resolution also demands for access to humanitarian aid for Gaza residents and the swift unconditional release of all hostages.
The resolution was passed with 158 votes in favor, 9 against, and 13 abstentions. The United States and Israel were among those rejecting the ceasefire resolution. The US reiterated concerns from a previous Security Council resolution it vetoed, insisting a ceasefire be conditional on the release of all Israeli hostages in Gaza. The Assembly also passed another resolution by a vote of 159 to 9, calling on Israel to drop its ban on the UN Agency for Palestine Refugees, UNRWA, and ensure unrestricted humanitarian aid across Gaza. In October, Israel's parliament barred UNRWA from operating in the country and occupied territories, including Gaza and the West Bank. While non-binding, these resolutions reflect global sentiment on the war.
Australia plans new rules to create a financial incentive for big tech firms to pay Australian media companies for news content on their platforms. The move, described as a news bargaining initiative, piles pressure on global tech giants like Facebook owner Meta Platforms and Google to pay publishers for content or face the risk of paying millions to continue operations in Australia.
The platforms at risk of the charge will be significant social media platforms and search engines with an Australian-based revenue in excess of $250 million, according to Assistant Treasurer and Minister for Financial Services, Stephen Jones.
The real objective, however, is not to raise revenue. We hope not to raise any revenue. The real objective is to incentivise agreement making between platforms and news media businesses in Australia.
Australia in 2021 passed laws to make the US tech giants, such as Alphabet's Google and Meta, compensate media companies for the links that drive readers and advertising revenue to their platforms.
South Korea's ruling party leader Han Dong-hoon says that President Yoon Suk-yeol should be immediately suspended from his duties after declaring the short-lived martial law last week. Therefore, Han says the only way to do so is for the ruling party lawmakers to vote for impeachment.
In a televised speech on Thursday, South Korean President Yoon said North Korea may have hacked the country's elections. He also defended last week's short-lived martial law order as a legal move to protect democracy. Yoon faces a second impeachment vote in Parliament expected on Saturday, a week after the first one failed because most of the ruling party boycotted the vote.
Opium production in Myanmar has fallen for the first time since a military coup in 2021, though the country remains the world's biggest producer of the narcotic. Myanmar produced 995 tons of opium in 2024, according to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime.
Movement restrictions, extreme monsoons, and a drop in international opium prices contributed to a decline in Myanmar's opium harvest. However, the UNODC noted this year's yield remains the second largest in 2 decades and a key income source for the country. Myanmar surpassed Afghanistan as the top opium producer last year, harvesting 1,080 tons after the Taliban crackdown on poppy cultivation. With Myanmar's economy devastated by conflict since the 2021 military coup, many have turned to poppy farming for survival, with the Myanmar junta previously cited challenges to curb opium or poppy cultivation. The UNODC report highlights the need to curb the production of opium used to manufacture heroin, as well as the growing trafficking of synthetic drugs in the region.
That wraps up AWANI tonight. I'm Farhana Sheikh. Thank you for watching.